right. Welcome, alumni. We'll start with some introductions. And Lily, why don't you get started?
Hi, I'm Lily Gardner, formerly Lily Orem when I was at MacLaren. I graduated in the class of 2017. I now live in the DC area with my husband Caleb, who's also MacLaren alumni, and I work here as a clinical pharmacist in the NICU and PICU at a children's hospital.
Hi, I'm Jeff. I'm a MacLaren class of 2023 graduate, and I'm currently a junior at Yale University studying history and medieval studies.
Hi, my name is Lucas Balzer. I'm a MacLaren graduate of 2019. I am currently working in healthcare consulting in between Colorado and San Diego.
I'm McKenna Shaner. I graduated in the class of 2025, and I'm a freshman at RPI in New York, and I'm studying biological neuroscience.
Great. Thank you all. So the first question I have, how did McLaren prepare you for college and or career after McLaren?
And I think I'd mostly like to talk about humane letters because that's probably the most relevant to what I'm doing right now. Taking a lot of history classes, a lot of kind of literature and philosophy classes, and humane letters is all kind of in that realm. My freshman year of college, I took this thing called directed studies, which is a pretty intensive first year program here at Yale. And it's broken up into three classes, namely literature, historical and political thought, and philosophy. And we read upwards of 60 to 65 books a year. So it's a lot. It's a lot more reading than there was at MacLaren. But I will say that the MacLaren kind of education and specifically humane letters, the ability to kind of dive into close readings and spend 2 hours on 20 pages and really get into the granular details of all kinds of different texts prepared me for this more than I can imagine any other program would. I think I definitely came in to Yale with a little bit of a leg up in that regard, both with seminar participation, being able to kind of bounce off of one another in class, and also with my writing because college essays are a little bit different. You're often under a time crunch, and I think humane letters in particular really prepared me to go into college and be successful with writing essays and engaging in seminar.
I'm happy to jump in as well from a bit of a different perspective since I studied science in college. That I know I remember being a high school student at MacLaren and seeing my peers do AP classes or start to get college credit and wondering, how is this going to go for me when I get to college? And I did not feel that I was held back one bit. I remember taking the intro math exam when I got to Drake, and I tested out of all of the math I would need to pursue my doctorate. So I only took calculus again because I wanted to, and I didn't need to based on just the baseline knowledge I had from MacLaren. I felt extremely prepared from a math and science perspective. And I also felt a lot more well-rounded than my peers who were going into the same profession. I know a lot of the students that I was with had focused their whole high school education on math and science, knowing that was their passion, and being able to speak in public and being able to engage in a thoughtful discussion, I think really put me a little bit of a leg up among some of my peers and has also allowed me in my career to go speak at national conferences with confidence and to engage in the broader discussion of science and of medicine. And that has been just a huge benefit that I really attribute to MacLaren.
So similar to what Lily was saying, I went to the University of Alabama and I got a mechanical engineering degree there. And when I first arrived, or I guess I'll break this into two different sections. One of the first things I think MacLaren's math curriculum in particular really prepared me well foundationally for some of the kind of classes that I was going to be taking there. I just distinctly remember even freshman year, one of the weed out classes I had to take, really kind of getting caught up in the way that the classes was structured. At MacLaren, there's much more of an intensity to making sure people understand and walking through with the students. Intensity in a good way. I don't know why I said that, but the teachers are much more thorough, right? And in college, it's much more kind of my own responsibility to succeed in the class. And I just remember having a class where we were studying things that I had already remembered and learned in MacLaren, and that really kind of set me up well to succeed very well in that class when a lot of my peers were struggling. And the second thing I would say there is just setting me up with a focus on actually learning versus just focusing on grades. I think that was a big culture shock for me when I switched over to a college curriculum, is that, to be honest, it didn't really matter if you learned anything. It only really mattered like what your GPA was or what your grade for that class was. So I think having the sort of understanding of being able to be interested in learning and what the subject was, but also be able to grasp the material and not just focusing on the grade was like a foundationally very beneficial to me.
Yeah, even just getting into my first semester of college, I'm noticing a lot of the things that you've said, and especially what Lily said about being a well-rounded person, even with my school being a huge STEM school and my major being primarily sciences, it's still really helpful and almost necessary to have such a deep background in all of the areas of academics, and they all are connected and they all help you understand things better. And just having all those tools to help in every aspect of academics is necessary. Yeah.
Oh, great, thank you.